Hey guys, this is Code Black and welcome to episode 3. I've had so many requests about Screeches, so I think I'm going to jump right in and show you guys how I did the Screech for the Running Late remix I did together with Bruno-Studios. Okay, so we're going to start with a basic saw, and we're going to introduce some FM noise. Now, I use this in a lot of my leads actually, but more so on Silent than the Virus. We're just going to give it a little bit of this. We're going to bring the balance over to the middle, and we're going to introduce the hypersaw over here. Crank up the voices, and the detune to max. We're going to move the unison up to 4 and turn up the detune. Okay, so it's not bad, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. So I'm going to crank up the ring modulator. Makes it sound a little bit more distorted in this case, so we like that. That works. We're going to turn up oscillator 3 and make sure the detune is up as well, and we've set it to saw over here. Okay, now we've got something that kind of sounds like it could be a screech. Pretty much, we're almost there. In the filter section I have a bit of a high pass, which is just getting rid of some of the low end. It's not doing a great deal because I don't want to remove too much of the body, but this is just enough to remove some of the mud in the bottom end. On the filter envelope, set a short decay. Now, what we can do is go over to the matrix and set up our filter envelope to affect our pitch. So pitch 1 and 2, if we turn that all the way. And now without it. And that's just to exaggerate the effect a little bit so you guys can hear. Now we're going to head over to the common section. And this is quite important. So I've actually set the pitch down amount to -64. This allows me to play with the pitch bend. And the bend up. Bend up you can set 3, 2, 1, 12, whatever you feel like. It'll give you different effects, but usually I set between 1, 2, or 3, depending on the track. In the LFO section, I'm going to turn up the amount for LFO 1. And for this patch, I have the LFO speed at 127 using the S&G waveform. Okay, now that we have this sound, it's a technique that I use, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So in front of me I've got a random bunch of MIDI data where I'm just pressing down F and playing with the pitch bend. If you listen, then I'll bounce it down to audio. Okay, so now that we've bashed the keyboard and played with the pitch bend, we should have a minute or so bounce down to audio, and it should sound something like this. So what we're going to do is try to make sense of that, and that's what I've done here. I've basically cut up all the different regions, and I've made it into little phrases. So if I take away this region, what I actually had was, and I found this from somewhere else to make. So it becomes really easy in Cubase to make these different phrases because I can just scroll through and choose random pieces. And we can almost do anything, and by mistake we can create something cool. So I'm gonna drag something random from here and drag it over here and maybe do like this. And then we're gonna see what happens. And just like that, you're creating new patterns, new grooves. This might not be completely in time, but once you put the kick behind it or a clap or whatever, you can get it in time by micro-tuning it. Okay, so I've done this technique with a whole bunch of my intros. So I've done it with not just screeches, but other kind of distorted resonant sounds. But I'm going to follow that up with another episode on how to make different kind of screeches, not your generic hardstyle screech. So I hope you guys have learned something, and I hope you can take some of this information or the technique and apply it in your own way. I'm not sure if this Control-Alt-Scroll option is available in other DAWs or not. But I'm sure you guys can find a workaround. And as one last present before I go, I'm going to give you guys a Spy preset. So for the people out there that don't have a Virus TI to work with, I understand that. So I made a quick patch on Spire. And it sounds something like this. The patch will be linked below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. See you next time.